The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. It is 5 a.m. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alina Russ.
Breaking overnight, some news out of East Bakersfield. The Mariposa Thrift Store has gone up in flames. You can see crews here on the ground and on top of a ladder battling that 2-alarm fire. It's not only heartbreaking for the store owners, but also for lovers of secondhand apparel. We know so many things in there can't be replaced. Thankfully, though, no injuries reported. It does appear the inside of the store completely destroyed by this fire. A vacant unit next to the store was also damaged. No word yet on what may have started this.
In your Crime Watch this morning, a Shafter man's accused of molesting a 12-year-old girl after portraying himself as a teenager online. According to the sheriff's office in Tulare County, 26-year-old Gennaro Morales III drove to a home in Dinuba to meet up with the 12-year-old. Officials say Morales forced the girl to engage in sex acts. A family member discovered Morales and called police. Morales took off but was arrested at a gas station in Shafter. Investigators say Morales posed online as being between the ages of 14 and 16. He faces 8 counts of child molestation and is due in court in Tulare County tomorrow.
All right, now to your 17 Court Watch. A Bakersfield man facing a sentence of more than 100 years in prison for killing his girlfriend. A jury found Samuel Brown guilty of murder and other charges. He shot his girlfriend, Shavonna Wilson, at least 9 times outside a motel on Brundage Lane in 2020. He then dropped her body off at Kern Medical. Officers found Brown also had possession of meth when he was arrested. Prosecutors say he already has straight convictions and therefore now faces 123 years to life, of course, in prison during his sentencing next month.
The Bakersfield Californian was found in contempt of court for refusing to turn over the note of a reporter who interviewed a murder suspect in jail. This is all part of the murder case of Benny Alcala Jr., the prison counselor who was shot to death at the Stockdale Target parking lot last year. Earlier this month, a judge ordered the Californian give the notes from a witness's interview to the public defender. But in court yesterday, the newspaper's attorney argued the notes are protected from disclosure by the First Amendment and the state's SHIELD law. The attorney also said they'll take the matter to an appeals court to be heard in the next 2 weeks.
New details this morning in the case against a local teacher accused of distributing and possessing child pornography. The Bakersfield City School District saying 59-year-old Matthew Ambrose was hired as a substitute back in 1996 and became a full-time teacher the following year. He had previously worked at Muncie, Pauley, Owens Intermediate, and Owens Elementary schools before becoming a 6th grade teacher at Bessie Owens. The school district says Ambrose was placed on administrative leave following his arrest this week, adding he is not allowed back on campus. Court records show Ambrose is out on bail. Well, making news around the nation, you can officially add another name to the list of GOP candidates running for president. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis launching his presidential bid on Twitter Spaces. In a conversation with Elon Musk last night, NBC's Bree Jackson has the latest.
And freedom is worth fighting for.
The much-anticipated announcement from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
Well, I am running for President of the United States to lead our great American comeback.
But his Twitter Spaces campaign launch came with delays and major technical glitches, issues the platform's CEO, Elon Musk, downplayed during the event.
We started with some technical issues because of the sheer scale and unprecedented nature of what we were doing.
DeSantis later using traditional media to highlight his priorities.
The border, there's a lot you can do, ripping out Biden's anti-American energy policies.
The Trump campaign wasted no time taking aim at its latest challenger, calling DeSantis' tech challenge launch a complete failure and blasting him, a sentiment echoed by other candidates.
If he's just going to be an echo to Trump, people just vote for Trump.
The former president leading a growing field of Republicans vying for primary voters. And even President Biden poked fun at DeSantis' tech issues. The president posted a link on Twitter to his own fundraising page saying, "This link works." In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
Now to our ongoing coverage of the Sierra snowmelt. We're getting mixed signals about what to expect from the Kern River as the snowpack continues to melt into the summer. 17's Marco Torres spoke with the Kern County Fire Department about the changing situation.
than 100 firefighters working with property owners along the Kern River to help keep homes safe from the flood.
We've seen a really great response through the interaction that we're having with the individuals in our communities. We did have a kind of makeshift town hall meeting out in Goodmanville. They had a great turnout for that. We've already given out close to 4,000 sandbags to these various individuals.
Captain Andrew Freeborn says there's no clear picture for how bad the flood could be. Many variables can change the prediction of every model from one day to the next.
It's very hard to paint a specific answer of exactly how far will water come into someone's property, or if it's even going to go into their property or not. So there's so many different variables, and we're trying to crunch those variables every day and give the most accurate example of what we can.
Freeborn says even with these two opposite predictions, many property owners along the Kern River are preparing.
We're saying be prepared. There's potential that the river will continue to rise. We want the community to know that we're here, we're working on this, and we're taking it serious. We want them to do the same. And the best thing that individuals can do right now in the various communities is just keep their awareness up.
Marco Torres, 17 News.
All right, meanwhile, Kern County officials continuing to provide updates with the latest information, resources, and maps on potential flooding through town. You can scan this QR code on your screen. It takes you directly to our website where we have gathered all of those links in one place for you. You can also check out the latest aerial flood inundation maps from County Fire, which were just updated yesterday. Plus, keep track of the inflow and outflow data at Isabella Dam, courtesy of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. And remember to subscribe to Ready Kern, which will provide emergency alerts in real time right to your phone. So important in case of an evacuation or other important emergency that you need to know about in your area. That's what I love about the phones is it'll ping your location even if you're away from home, like, hey, you're close to danger.
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah. And the Madera County Sheriff is closing off the San Joaquin River just days before the holiday weekend. One of the dams out there is pushing out 9,000 to 10,000 cubic feet of water every second, which equals roughly 500,000 pounds of force. Since the water is coming from the snowmelt, it's also cold and can lead to hypothermia. The sheriff's office says the conditions are too dangerous.
I would ask people to look to the events of Fresno County. Please heed the closures. They're there for a reason. I will stress that anybody that is found in violation of those closures stands a very real risk of being charged. The other problem is once somebody goes into that water, it exposes first responders, fire, EMS, and police to the dangers of having to enter the water to get them. And we don't want that situation for anybody.
Violating the river closures can lead to a fine or even an arrest.
All right, turning now to your 17th follow-up file. You could see an increase in your trash bill after Bakersfield City Council members unanimously voted last night to approve new waste and recycling charges. This is all part of the city's goals to meet a state law that requires local governments to reduce the amount of organic waste dumped into landfills by 75% by the year 2025. Now, in order for the city to do that, according to Public Works, it will require more equipment and staff, leading to increased rates for residents and businesses who are throwing out their solid waste. The approved rate increase based on the Consumer Price Index and depends on your home size. So for a single family home, the rate increase of $15. For multiple family homes, the rate increase is about $14.
Fuel costs go up, material costs go up, and the cost of doing business goes up. This allows us to just annually increase that by the Consumer Price Index and make those adjustments and meet those cost demands as time goes on.
Okay, so this price increase is expected to go into effect in July. Now to news around the nation and the race to avoid a government default coming down to the wire. The last meeting between the White House and Republican negotiators yesterday came with late word of progress. Peter Alexander explains.
An urgent new reminder of the fast approaching deadline before a potentially catastrophic default. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warning how little time is left for lawmakers to raise the debt limit, allowing America to pay its bills.
It seems almost certain that we will not be able to get past early June.
Yellen saying she'll offer a more precise date to Congress soon. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy saying after negotiations, things are better than they were. Still, the stalemate's largely over spending, with House Republicans demanding significant cuts, while White House officials say they've offered to freeze current spending levels, but won't cut further to protect social programs.
This is a manufactured crisis, plain and simple. That's what we're seeing currently. That's what we've been dealing with for the past couple of weeks.
But Republicans say the White House is not going far enough.
We have to spend less than we spent last year. It is not my fault that the Democrats cannot give up on their spending.
Just by going down to the wire, the economy is already at risk. In 2011, when the U.S. narrowly avoided a default, the nation's credit rating was downgraded anyway, and major stocks lost nearly 20%.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.